talk about justice, equality. What I'm gonna talk about, freedom, what I'm gonna talk about, justice, equality. Yeah. Freedom for you and for me.
But when I look at y'all, I see a law. When I look in the mirror, I see the law. Now the question is, what is our law going to do for his nation? What is the earth going to do for their nation? So if you want things to change, if you want things to become better, then you yourself must make these things what happen. All that is caused by you, not by something else. Stop thinking that something is going to cause something to happen. Stop thinking something is going to cause anything to happen.
Peace, 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 peace. Welcome to B.E.E.C.A.U.S.E. Thank you for being here tonight. Peace and bless everybody. Welcome to Teller B TV Productions, aka the Cultural Preservation Station. I'm your host, Teller B, and this is B.E.E.C.A.U.S.E, aka Black Education Empowers, creating all unity, saving everything. Thank you so much for rocking out with us tonight. Make sure you check in on all of our social media outlets. Subscribe to our YouTube page at BTV Productions. That's with a Z. Like our Facebook page, BTV, a platform for the truth. That's also where you can see this live stream happen. Follow us on IG and Twitter. That's at TellerBTV. Our website is www.tellerbtv.org. Make sure you go visit the website where you can buy merch and check out past shows and check out past guests and all their information. If you'd like to be on the show to promote your project, your business, your book, or any venture you have going on, please reach out to us via email at btv79@gmail.com. So I want to go ahead and say peace to our guest host, Karama Isms. Thank you so much, sis, for being here.
Peace, peace.
Um,
Always a
Peace, sis.
pleasure.
Yes. So obviously, we always have our normal panel is Karama, RA, Black Storm, and Live Star. But Live Star and RA couldn't make it tonight, so it's just us girls. So I'm good with that. Queens up to my sis. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
You know what I
hey.
mean? We still gonna get it in. We still gonna do what we gotta do and get our message out there for tonight about critical race theory, because that's what we're going to chop up tonight. But it's not really just about that. It's going to be that and other things that affects, especially as it affects the Black community, because that's obviously what we're here for. So thank you, sis. How you been? Happy New Year to you. How you been? How you
I've been
doing? How you
good.
feeling?
I've been good. I've been good. I'm grateful. Happy New Year. Happy Gregorian New Year, I should say, right? Because we know the New Year don't start till the harvest comes in. A new time when stuff is growing again. But I'm good. I'm good. I got sat down, quote unquote, with their third dose. I'll say it, their third dose of this COVID. And but I'm doing okay. I'm on my third day of the 5 day, because they've mastered the disease down to a 5 day quarantine now. So I'm good. I'm grateful. I'm grateful. Excited for this topic for sure, because
Me
it's
too.
all a buzz, and it's. In doing my research for it, I was like, wow, I didn't even. This is, oh my, okay, I see what's happening here, type thing. So
Right. Right. So that's what's up. So I'm glad you're here. Hopefully, the guys will be back with us next week, but that's all good. So tonight's discussion is focused on critical race theory. So what I wanted to do, I wanted to bring this topic to the panel because basically to me, it's the culprit. It's one of the main culprits in this civil war, this cultural war that's raging in our country.
hmm
Um, and I feel like it's obviously not getting coverage. The way it should be getting coverage, especially with the manner of how important the content is and how it affects not just the black community, but the American people, all of us, all of society. So I wanted to bring this to the floor. So what I want to do, I'm gonna lay some background information,
Okay.
and then I'm gonna let you weigh in. I'm gonna go in the breaks, and I'm gonna let you weigh in on it, okay?
Hmm.
And then we'll
Yep.
see how we go from there, okay?
Okay.
So
Word.
critical race theory is basically it's a concept. It's a academic concept that's it's actually more than 40 years old. The core idea is that race is a social construct, and that racism is not merely just a product of individual bias or prejudice, but also embedded in the laws and policies of the very fabric of life. So its focus is to address inequality and racism in the United States, not just past but present and ongoing. So one of the vehicles that have fueled this more recent attraction and attention to critical race theory was a piece that had been published in the New York Times about 2 years ago. It's called 1619 Project, and
Hmm.
it's written
Hmm.
by Nicole Hannah Jones.
Hmm.
So I haven't written read the book. There's actually a book out also
Hmm.
now.
Hmm.
They put a book out after the piece came out. The book is called the 1619 Project: A New Origin Story, which I love that title. I love that new origin story title because
Hmm.
it really is what it sets out to do. So basically, it was published in the paper 2 years ago, and it was followed by podcasts, public forums, and actual lesson plans for schools. Lesson plans for schools, and she also won a Pulitzer Prize for this piece that she did. And obviously, there was also a hostile response that ensued from lawmakers, different parents from different states and districts, and things like that. So that's what's kind of fueled and sparked this more recent attraction in
Can I
this.
interject really
Yes,
quickly? You
absolutely.
know, the university that she was at, they did not declined her tenure as a result of that
Yes,
too, because of the rich racist, quote unquote, people with money at the school, and the endowments, the people donating was like, oh, you better not give her tenure here. And so
right.
that kind of created this whole, and so now she's at an HBCU, if I'm not mistaken, because of that. So she left that college and is now tenured, I do believe, or on that track at an HBCU.
Which is wonderful. And I actually have a really cool story to tell about her after we kind of dive into this other
Okay.
topic. So I'm glad you brought that up, sis. Thank you. That was beautiful because it's going to tie right into this other
So yeah,
little fun story about her that I think
yeah.
everyone will appreciate.
Hmm.
So basically, the project puts the history and the effects of enslavement, as well as Black Americans' contributions to democratic reforms, at the center of American history. So basically, it would like reform the whole history curriculum.
Hmm.
We'll reform it because the way it's told now, it's not it's told in a certain from a certain viewpoint. I'll say. Um, so so this is what has sparked like the latest rounds of like legislation and different things like that against critical race theory. So there's several states that are threatening to cut funding to schools if they teach
Hmm.
anything from the project. Um, so right now, the states that have passed the legislation to ban critical race theory are Idaho, Iowa, Oklahoma, Tennessee, and the other states are like they're threatening to cut the funding if they teach this in the curriculum. So the main points that I wanted to talk about are the bills that they're writing for this legislation. They're very vaguely written,
Hmm. Hmm.
and it's unclear what they'll cover. So this poses major issues for educators and, obviously for society. For example, say the teacher just wants to talk about the establishment of the Jim Crow laws. That could be a violation of the critical race theory laws. Um, so basically, teaching any historical event involving black people or our plight or anything, which is ridiculous because we're part of all American history anyway.
So what I'm
We
hearing
we
you
are
tell
American
me
history. Yeah.
is, So then it sounds like then they just want to scrap American history as it's been taught already. Because see, here she's coming in with just more critical stuff. Like, now, see, as a result of these laws passed in the 1800s, these people in the 1950s could not go buy housing here because of the segregate, things like that. So it was just kind of like that bridging of that gap is what how my mind sees it. But I also see that it's being politicized, right? It's being made a political thing where they're passing laws because see what's happening is see because see I'm 46, so now I'm an old head now, I love it, because I be thinking like, oh, I know these kids ain't anyway, but I'm an old head now, right? And so you're trying to tell me what I got taught when I was in school, having to argue with the white kids like, don't, I'm not a slave, all of that stuff. You mean to tell me you want to take that completely out now? And so then what? Black people just came here because we wanted to be helpers. That's how they're
Yes.
putting it in the book now. We're helpers,
Yes.
helpmates.
And I also want to iterate, sis, that we already know that they've already done stuff like this, like where they
Hmm.
whitewash certain things or
Hmm.
certain parts of
Hmm.
history that
Hmm.
pertain to us. Even so, where I think in Texas or a few other states that they actually were taking language out of the history books and stuff like
Hmm.
that and like exchanging it with different, adjectives that had nothing, nowhere close to what was real.
That
So
part.
they were already doing that. So this further, like to me, that this furthers their agenda for them to be passing these laws and bringing forth this legislation that is this detrimental. That I mean, that's super detrimental to our history, our
It's
future.
passive history.
Yeah, it is.
It's passive aggressive, even.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how to me it's a how dare you, but flip that coin, you're embarrassed. The people, it's people my generation. It's their parents. These people are embarrassed and, oh, I didn't think that way. I don't believe this. I don't believe that. But it's the truth. These to me are those same people who don't want to admit that they have white privilege and use that same privilege to combat the system of racism. Those are those same people who get red when I say, "Oh, we're Williams. Oh, okay, your family must have owned. You guys had a huge plantation, huh? Now that white man is." I didn't say you were racist, sir. I told you how it's highly likely that you, white man, and me, black woman, have the same last name. That's all. That's all. How you think I feel when I'm
Right.
often told I'm as beautiful as I am because I gotta be mixed? Or what are you mixed with because your hair texture or your complexion or your children's eye color? So how do you think that makes people like me feel? And then you want to sweep under the rug that my great 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 grandma couldn't even marry and they had to jump brooms so that they showed the other slaves, this mine, this one right here, the one I just jumped, this that's mine. That's how we got married. And so
Yes.
you want to strip these things away instead of teaching little Hannah what happened back
Right.
in the day. And
Right.
you want Hannah to think her home girl Keisha, great great grandma and them, just wanted to go help her great great grandma and them. So then are they going to take out the fact that so many of our great grandmothers and grandmothers were maids, were wet
Right.
nurses? That's what you
Right.
want to take out? That's you don't want that horrible tragic history. So then now then I mean, let's just blow it all the way up. You're going to stop funding slave period movies? I don't think you're going to do that. You 12 years a slave, you're not going Django, you're going to scrap all of that from ever being a part of a movie thing for kids to go back in and see and have and ask these questions. I mean, to me, I say keep in the critical race theory, keep in the truth of what has happened in this country, how it was built on the backs of others, how it was stolen from others, right? How they're violent, pillage, and rapey, right? Tell that truth and leave my children out of learning about homosexuality and
Yes. So
transgender.
right. So that's also, so that's another show for another topic, right? But I get you. I get you.
Right.
And
I
my thing
mean,
is, and make it, and really take a hold of that title, a new origin story. Make a new origin story for America. Like, rewrite the origin story, because right now the one that they present is not accurate. The one that they're trying to present is definitely not accurate. Let's get back to, let's do what we have the facts on. Let's do
Sally
that origin
Hemingway,
story.
Thomas
Right. Let's do that.
Jefferson.
Yeah, let's do the real origin story, not the
Yeah,
fake made up one. So
right.
that's my thing. And then, so also, what I want to point out, there's another point to this that takes it even a step further now, Karama. So, get this. Here we go.
Is it eliminating the indigenous altogether? I mean, that was I was.
Hold on. You're going to get a
I
kick out
wouldn't
of
be
this one.
surprised.
All right, great. All right. You're going to get a kick out of this one. Okay, so most recently, the Florida governor, Ron DeSantis, he's a Republican. He backed a bill which actually got approved now, by the Senate committee. The bill will shield people from feeling discomfort over historic actions by their race, nationality, or gender. Now you
Okay,
tell me. Now wait a minute. I have this is let me. That's the fact. Let me get the follow up question before you start going off. My follow up question to you is: A, who's this law made for? Who they make that for?
you know what? The obvious answer. The obvious answer is palm colored people, right? White folks, Caucasians, Caucasoids, right? That's the obvious answer. But see, now I'm going to Florida, and every time you talk about black people, this, oh, you done hurt my feelings. I'm calling the law. Black on black crime. Oh, I'm gonna call the law. Don't talk about us. We have some trauma issues. It's not fair to make us feel bad that we killing ourselves. You see, like, I mean, it just sounds ignorant. It goes back to people my age and they parents and their parents' parents, and they're embarrassed and they're not going back to the broken man who has no coping skills, or the woman who has no coping skills on how to deal with trauma. So then she goes and she wants to pout like a 5 year old, or throw a temper tantrum. That's how I see it. Because as an adult, how am I've been made to feel bad for things, but it's not me. I didn't do it. So I, remind myself I didn't do that. I've never been the woman in the conversation that's hoping to make the white people in the room feel bad. That's not what
Right.
my goal is. My goal
Right.
is to educate you and make you raise your awareness. Now, if you choose to internalize and then feel bad, it wasn't me, I'm sorry, and start doing all of that, that's your own issues with mental health and internalizing what people say, right? And so you need to work on that. But if we're going to have comfortable conversations, it is 2022. And the fact that this is going on. Like, as soon as my passport comes, screw Jamaica, screw Belize in Mexico. Sisters looking into Ghana. How we go over here and get this dual citizenship that y'all was talking about? Hi, my name's Karam. I'm a Ghanaian American. I'm a Ghanaian American. Like, because I'm over having to try and explain to you. I'm over. It's been redlined. Gentrification is real. For example, the neighborhood I live in Tacoma, Washington, is the Hilltop. This was the blacketiest, blackety black hood, the 60s, 70s, 80s, all that. Families, large families are known around here. You hear me? The black families, the Hilltop, Gang Bang Central in Tacoma. This is the Hilltop Crips,
Mm-hmm.
okay? Black, but there's a hospital down this way. There's a hospital down that way. They just made the University of Washington Tacoma campus a 4 year. It's right down the hill. So they
Mm-hmm.
gentrified. But gentrification first started when this little elementary school called Bryant Montessori. It was originally Bryant, and they turned it into a Montessori school.
So like a private school, like a
No.
private Catholic
See,
school.
out here in Washington, they have magnets. It was a magnet thing at this time. And so the magnet for that school was Montessori education. So it was still a public free school. But white people started getting hold of that Montessori education from the North End and over there. They started coming down here and buying houses. So much so that on the first day of school, I looked to the black parent and said, "Did she just say she need more parents with food stamps to fill out the Title IV funding paperwork? Because they're getting too many over income kids and the school's at risk of losing its funding." Because these white people were coming in. I literally seen a lady who I used to go to kickboxing with at the Y up there. "Oh yeah, we just bought a house because you were telling us so much about Montessori." I wanted to slap myself. Bitch, I told you all about the school and you done came to the neighborhood. Wow.
Well, you
You
know,
see my
well, yeah, I see the correlation. Yeah. And I mean, and that's really the reality that we're living in. I mean, our neighborhoods are obviously being gentrified, and you know, it's again that's another topic for another show. You know,
it
you
all
know,
relates in a
but
sense though,
but
right?
it all relates. Yeah, I mean, it's all connected because you have that which now leads to something else making
Well,
being
think of the
possible for them to
critical race
change.
theory, the redlining. People weren't
Right.
able to go in certain neighborhoods. We were corralled in certain spaces. So these were
Right.
our black neighborhoods. Now you're gentrifying in those spaces that you once wouldn't come in. That was the only places where we could buy land. And now that's that part. Like I like you I tell people all the time, if this is something you can always do, don't come in and try and do it now too, now that we're doing it. You always, like I tell my like kids with toys, you always play with that toy. Now your little cousin over here and they want to play with that toy. You ain't been bothered with that toy. Leave that toy alone. Kind of the same thing. You ain't been bothered with this part of the neighborhood until a school came in that was sending these little brown and black kids test scores. Bro, my older two children are the geniuses they are because they were in Montessori from pre-K through eighth grade. It is a middle school Montessori as well. Science fairs and all different stuff in that school from other schools. And so that critical race theory, leaving out what really happened to a group of people and what made it unfair for those group of people, why these people are still steps and steps behind economically, educationally, mentally, physically, because of environmental health and adverse childhood experiences, your ACEs, all of that ties in. So you want to just leave that out? My my adult children. Oh well, slavery was so long ago. Like I started feeling the steam coming off of me. Like who are you? Where
Yeah.
did you come
Yeah.
from? You
Yeah.
can't
But
be
see that
mine. What do you
but
mean?
that's our fault though. That's our fault though. Cuz we know the school's not going to teach them. So that's why I mean that's why we do shows like this too,
Hmm.
so
Hmm.
it
Hmm.
can bring awareness to it. But at the same time, you're right sis, like the whole thing is off kilter. So I want to play this clip real quick
Hmm.
about what Ron DeSantis is saying about this whole woke thing or whatever. They're calling it the woke stop the woke. If they're calling actually, it's called the Stop Woke Act. That's what it's
Come
called,
on,
sis.
man.
But let me tell. But what? Wait a minute. Wait a minute though. My problem with this, my inherent problem with this, is how come this isn't being like? How come this isn't all over the news?
Seriously,
Right.
seriously, because they don't
So,
care.
right, they don't care. They don't care. So, let's get the clip. Let me get the clip up. Give me 1 second to get this together.
No worries. I want to see
And
that movie where they have the slavery in reverse. I can never get it on
what
Prime.
movie is that?
There's a movie that the picture with the man stringing up the clan. There's like a whole thing where the black people are the slave owners, the
I
whites
never
are the
seen
slaves.
that.
It's a
Or
whole entire movie,
send me
and
that,
it's
sis.
out there. It just I've seen it. I've seen it on like Prime and stuff, but it's not. You can't play it. Like they like, nah, we ain't letting y'all watch this.
All right. So here we go. I want to play this clip. This is people. This is the bill to have people stop feeling guilt about. Ron DeSantis pushes Florida bill to protect white people from guilt about racist past. So this is a real thing. This is not me, making this up. This is a real thing that's going on. So let me hold on, sissy. Let me do this real quick. I think there was an issue with the sound, so give me 1 second to see if I can get it together. But anyway, you can read what it's saying. You can read the caption. I know the sound's not there. Let me do this for a second. So I should have. Let me rewind it, and I'm gonna read it because we don't have the sound. So I'll read what he's saying, so everyone can see what type of nonsense we're dealing with here. So today we're
You
going
gotta
to be
click
introducing
unclick the mute.
where on the page, sis. I don't see it.
On his
I got it.
on that
I got it.
video there was a mute when you go.
Thank you. I see
See
it.
it?
Hold on.
See
Let me
it?
see. Yep, I see it. Let me see if that works.
Okay.
Let me
Okay.
rewind it, and here we go.
Going to be
See if we can hear it.
introducing to the public, and we have legislators who are going to help us with this, a new piece of legislation for the upcoming legislative session called Stop Wrongs Against Our Kids and Employees Act, the Stop Woke Act. And it's something that and this will do a number of things that are very important. One, it will put into statute the Department of Education's prohibition on CRT in K through 12 schools. No taxpayer dollars should be used to teach our kids to hate our country or to hate each other. And so we are going to be including in this legislation giving parents a private right of action to be able to enforce the prohibition on CRT, and they get to recover attorney's fees when they prevail, which is very important.
All right, sis.
Man,
So hold on. Let me get what it is. So that was the video of him speaking about it. So now that puts
and
more
he
into
said that with a
perspective. So
straight face.
yeah. Let me let you go ahead and comment on that, and then see what your thoughts are. Let me see.
He had a straight face saying that out loud. I can't believe, like, for real, harming our wrong against our kids and employees. You can sue people for no taxpayer. I don't understand what's happening. Being made to feel bad, teaching our kids to hate each other and hate our country. That's what they take away from what critical race theory is. That it's
Yes,
teaching children to hate the country and each other.
yes,
I don't get it, because how are we not teaching the children to hate each other when you see someone exercising their right on a football field and taking a knee, and then he loses his whole entire livelihood?
yeah. He
And
was the
because
first
he does
cancel. He
that,
was the first one in cancel culture. Right, the right wing canceled him, and he was the first person victim of cancel culture. And ever since him, Colin Kaepernick from the 49ers, the quarterback who they canceled, who still cannot get a job in the NFL. Um, Ever since him, you've seen this cancel culture go on, but you've seen it kind of shift to where, you know, it's anything. Like, even if you say something, about black people, or you say something
mhm,
about Jewish people, or whatever you say
mhm.
about any type of people, you can be canceled. Just like Dave Chappelle was, they
Oh,
tried
they
it.
tried it. I
Oh,
think he had too
they,
many supporters.
oh, they tried it. They tried. They
Yeah.
can't cancel my man. They can't
No,
cancel
I
my
think he
guy.
had
They
too
can't
many
cancel
supporters
Dave.
in the
Yeah, he does.
LGBTQ community,
Yeah,
even.
even that, yeah, and it's like this is the whole problem. Like the world is so sensitive now. You can't say anything. All the kids have to have a trophy. I mean, the list goes on. So I mean, it's kind of the culture that we're living in, and now
I've always hated that.
he's passing this bill where we can't even express our normal like reaction from things that are happening to us in the world.
Here's the thing what I learned in school, I cannot make Taylor feel. I can't make you
Right.
feel. I can't. As much as you may want to blame me, as much as I may want to say somebody else, I took what I heard, it went through my filter system, and the feelings that came was mine, all mine. So
You
I'm
own
not
them.
I'm not making nobody feel. Nobody's making me feel. When they do, I sometimes get a certain type of way, but it doesn't mean they're causing me to feel. That's all that's stirring up in me. So if being a Caucasian, you feel guilty, you feel anxious, you're saddened or depressed by what happened to people that look like me or your friends or your nephew's great grandparents or whatever, that's okay. That's called being empathetic. If you're feeling that, and now what are you going to do with those feelings? Are you going to turn them negative and come against me like it's something I'm doing to you? Or are you going to say, I'm about to teach my kids about Sarah Bartman? I'm about to teach my kids that it's not funny to try and emulate Black women or what they think are Black women. I'm going to teach, I'm going to do, we're doing Kwanzaa next year. This whole white family. Barry, we're doing Kwanzaa. Whatever. However, it's got to happen, right? To try and impart these things. For a perfect example is Islam, right? Black Muslims, Arabic Muslims, there's the FOI, there's the Sunnis, there's the Shiite. I was a card carrying, covering Sunni. I think it was. I can't remember. I was one of the two, right? Practiced. I wasn't FOI. But I know how I felt when I went into these masjids, and I was one of many that looked like me, but the masjid was an Arabic masjid, right? I know how that feels. And I know how I was starting part of their culture to teach my children and to learn myself so that they wouldn't think a certain way or mistreat or however I was feeling, right? So there's those ways to do that, but to make it as if, hey, bruh, but to make it as if it's something that is harmful, that is teaching division, as the brother just said, that is teaching us to hate America. Nah, man, that's not what's happening. That's them brothers, them Proud Boys that was going in on January 6th with their insurrection and parting this way and parting that way and having whole plans. That's them. That's not critical race theory teaching you that people jumped off the boat and threw their babies in the water instead of coming over here to be a slave. Now, Hannah, would you kill your baby? Or would you let your baby travel across the country to go be enslaved? Hannah probably gonna say, I'd have threw my baby over the goddamn board too, right along. I'd have jumped with her. Ain't no way. Because see, they can't see it. And I think what it is, because they're scared, because they always think if the shoe was in the other foot, they're savages. They'd have been trying to take off on us right now. They're scared that we're not. They're
Well,
scared that we're not attacking
that's
them.
the interesting thing too. I've read something before, and I'm paraphrasing because I don't have it up, but where it says that like if we like that's the thing, they're scared, and if we really did to them what reacted the way that we should, from if someone did that to them, how they would react, like it would be over for them. Like the minute we decide to do that, it's over for them, and they know that. You know what I mean? but like not for nothing. So let me go ahead. First of all, Live Star has joined us. I'm so glad
bro.
I'm glad Bro could make it. So let me see how you sound. You on a train in New York? Let me see how you sounding. Peace, bro. How you sounding? How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. Y'all can hear me?
Yeah, we
Yep.
can hear you. What's up with
Oh,
you?
okay. No, I ain't on the
Looks like
train.
you're
I'm on a
about to
bus.
go take something from
You
somebody
on
with
a
your
bus?
mask up to your glasses.
He's on.
Safety
Oh
first,
no, it's
though.
snowing. It's cold out here. It just
It's
started
snowing
snowing.
in now. Why?
Yeah,
Oh
it's snowing.
man,
It's
stay
snowing
warm.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm good. I just got off the train.
All right. So
So what
thank
y'all was
you.
talking about?
So we were talking about the critical race theory and basically how a Florida governor has passed legislation in the bill. What was it? The Anti-State Woke Act or something, or the Stop Woke Act,
Hmm.
where it allows white people not to feel guilt about their racist past.
And they could sue people.
They can sue people if we like make them feel guilty, like how, see how like all the Karens and stuff were getting like Karened on TV, because I mean on Instagram and all that, because they're Karens and that's what they're doing, like just the true nature, like we
So
can
what
be in
happens when they do
trouble.
it to us?
Nothing. That's okay. It's okay to do it to us. Our feelings don't matter, bro. Our feelings
And
ain't
what
important.
state you said this is in?
Well, that's in Florida. But once it passes in one place and gets the traction, because the Senate committee passed this, so once that has that traction, I mean, it's only natural progression that the rest of the states will follow.
Hmm.
Yeah, so that's what we were just discussing, and I have a clip that I actually wanted to show,
Hmm.
um, that actually further speaks to the disposition and the demeanor of some of the political leaders that are in office. So Mitch McConnell, he is the minority Senate leader. Um, he's in the news this week, so let me pull his stuff up. He has some controversial remarks to say about black people. Basically said we're not Americans. So I'm gonna pull that clip up, and then I'm gonna let the panel weigh in. So I'm gonna mute you guys and let me pull. And
Okay.
I might need Karama's help with the clip because obviously I can't see the mute button on this damn thing. But let me go ahead and get it ready. So give me 1 second, guys. All right.
No.
Hold on.
All right.
Says
Sis,
hi.
sis, what you say? Sis, what you say, sis? Because I can't. Let me see if I can get it to play.
I was
I was
reading what
reading
it
what it
said.
said.
African
African
American
American
voters
voters
have
have
vote.
vote.
What is
Hold on, sissy.
like
Like
we
we
vote just
vote
to
just
must
to
be
be
American or
American
what?
Yeah,
Or what did he
yes.
say?
That's what he said. He said, so I can't, I don't know why I can't make that have sound because it's on Instagram. Um, but I was trying to find the clip on here, but I can't find it.
So
So
because
but
this
basically,
is
yeah.
that
Voters
voters'
right
right
act,
act,
right? Yeah, so it's about the
which
voters'
gave
right act.
blacks
Blacks
the right
the
to
right to
vote.
vote. Yes. But not
That
only
the
that,
fact that it's still an
an
act and
act
has to
and
be
has to be
voted
voted
on
on right
regularly
regularly, and they're
is some
passing a bill to make what
bullshit.
in comparison to them passing an actual bill to not allow white people to feel uncomfortable about the racial injustices of the past. Like compare that, like couple that with that, and it's like, okay, what direction is the country really going in right now? And this is what I need our people to look at and to get serious about and stop bullshitting with all this other shit that we have going on, and like really pay attention to what's really going on under our nose while we're being shoved with COVID in our face. Like, pay attention because right now your future isn't in jeopardy. It's in jeopardy. So this is what I'm trying to say. Like, we need to get on this and stop doing all this other shit and bullshitting. Celebrities, all y'all rich people, y'all know what time it is. Y'all know what's going on. Where are the voices at? Where's the outrage of what's going on, of the what's going on to our community, to our history period? to our future.
Well, sis, you know how it is. Some of us get to a point where, as long as my position in white supremacy ain't bothered and I ain't knocked down, I just want to make my position a little greater, and every step of the way, I'm a do something. They throw crumbs at the black community that they left. They're the same people that drive through this hilltop now. Girl, I can't believe I stumped in back in the day, baby. Where's my pearls? We ain't gonna stop at the corner store over here. Right? Same people that grew up in that same instead of going back, not taking their children back to participate in the drill teams at the community center or the football team at the community center where they got. Because see, now they're in their higher position in white supremacy society, and they done got a couple of white people that call them they boy, good old boy, they girl. That's their best friend, and so it doesn't affect them anymore. So they don't care too much. It's the people like us who are caring or aren't. We're still distracted, many of us. Five and celebrities.
And that's the thing, though, but we need all of us to care. And that's the problem. And that's why Black education and power is creating all unity, saving everything. Because if we don't, who will? That's why we do the show. That's why I made it, because it's like we have to care. And like without platforms like this, and there are other platforms like mine, and salute to all of them, that are informing our people really what's going on, because I feel like half the battle is knowing. And I think our people don't even know this is going on.
Not enough.
And it's not enough. And it's almost like even if they do know, they feel like maybe they feel helpless, because it's like, well, what could I do? But I mean, it's plenty that we can do, but we have to walk in unison with it. But bro, what did you hear? And I'm sure you've seen this on Instagram, because it's been on there this week. So you heard the comments from this. This is the Senate majority, the minority leader. He's the minority leader in the Senate, the Republican Senate minority, the whip. He stated that Black people are not Americans. We're not Americans. So did you see this clip this week? And let me get your response and your reaction to it.
Yeah, I seen the clip. But I wasn't too shocked about it. It's, with me, it's not new with people. Like he was just saying about the race situation, trying to pass the bill. I didn't even know that. You know what I'm saying?
No, the bill's passed, bro. No, the bill's passed. Ain't no trying to.
Oh, they already.
Yeah, that woke one I was telling you about.
Okay, they already passed it.
It's passed. Yeah. Well, it got passed in the Senate committee. It might have to go through a couple more things. I'm not sure, but I mean, obviously we could do a little follow up on that. But it passed whatever first phase it got to go through. So obviously they feel
But you know what? It's just all this stuff been going on for years. They keep us distracted, and while we distracted with vaccines and this COVID, thinking this is the most terrible thing the world has reached the world. They doing sneaky shit like this. They doing little sliding laws under. Nobody ain't worrying about that right now. Nobody ain't paying attention to that right now.
Right.
Because everybody's focused on their health, but that's how they do. They set up the distraction, and then they ease their way in with that law. Because who? In order for the law to get passed, it had to go to D.C., right?
Correct. Well,
so who's passing these laws in D.C.?
Yeah, the Senate committee passed the law, and it might be at the state level right now. It might be the state Senate committee for Florida. But that to me, that just means it's on its way to the big committee. To the
Hello.
Can you hear me?
I can't hear y'all. Y'all can hear me?
Yep, we can hear you. All right, I'm gonna put you on mute for a minute, okay? All right, so why bro is getting his stuff together, because he's still on a bus and stuff. We'll check it back in with bro in a minute. But let me move into the next political news story that we have, because we're in our news section now. So in other news, I wanted to.
Y'all can hear me?
Oh yeah, we can hear you now, bro. Can you hear me? All right, he's back on mute. we'll we'll get you, bro. Well, he didn't have to leave. It's okay. He'll be back. He'll be back. It's okay. Uh, so sis, 57 people that were involved in that insurrection riot on January 6th. They're actually running for public office, sis. First of all, how is this even possible? How can you be involved in that, but you're still allowed to run for office? A, and it's like that in itself is just so problematic, but yet so American. Like I mean,
I
like
thought they had all got charges.
they what?
So those 57 people don't have any charges brought about them?
That part's unclear. That part's unclear. But the story just states that 57 that were involved in it. So maybe they were there or present. I don't know if they like actually went inside or whatever, but they might have been present, you know. But yeah.
It goes back to their white privilege.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you know, they weren't canceled. They did what they did. The white dude from Arizona who was allowed his organic diet. You know how many black men right now without support and are on vegetarian, vegan too? Are you making these accommodations in head? I don't know. Again, this is why critical race theory is important because there's been this whole entire system for hundreds of years that people with kinkier hair who are people that we robbed and stole over here. That these people ain't shit, and we have got to feeble-minded, eugenics, Margaret Singer, they're feeble-minded. You got to stop them from making kids. How many black women uteruses and ovaries were snatched out their body? I couldn't finish reading Medical Apartheid because I cried so much reading that book, or the book about Henrietta Lacks. And you're telling me the doctor of gynecology, no anesthesia, shoving things, slave women's bodies. But these things shouldn't be taught. How they're still today in medical journals and medical teaching that my pain is different than Hannah's because I'm black. I don't even have pain.
And we're even, like you said, it's still in the medical journals now, and it's still that when we go to the doctor now, those are still things that we truly experience. And, you know, it's just...
Don't say it is what it is.
No, it's sad.
Because it shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be that. Let me get bro's opinion, bro. So what I did, what we just weighed in on was 57 people that were involved in that insurrection of the Capitol building last year in January. 50, and it's unclear if those people had charges against them, but 57 of those people are now running for public office. Like, how is that even freaking possible? Like, that's ridiculous, right?
Back door. Damn, I had got a call. That's why I linked up. Well, you know, anything these people do, they control. Like I was telling one of my friends the other day. We don't have no what they call it, like black African Americans. We don't have no, just like the clip you were saying when he's saying we are not Americans, black people. The honest truth about that clip is the dude was telling the truth. We're not Americans. We're not. We consider ourselves to be that. You. They say we African American, right? They say you're supposed to go by your last name. You identify by the last name. It's supposed to be American African, not African American, because we are not American. We wasn't born here. We came here from somewhere else. They used us for labor to build this economy, to build this illusion of these politics, Democrat. To me, it's a bunch of bullshit in that we never gonna have, excuse my French, we never gonna have any real say so until physical war happen, and we we burn it down, and we just go to war with these people, because if we try to fight a system that's created by the people who designed the system, I don't feel we gonna get no win. We ain't getting no win. They might grant us here, y'all take that. We gonna let this cop who killed this man go to jail, right? This black brother. He gonna go to jail. But that's only one out of so many they done killed, or so many laws they done passed. Like I was saying earlier, the law gotta go through DC, right? From Florida. So how was this even passed? Who passed this law? You know what I'm saying? Where was the people to say, where was the people in Congress to say, okay, well, this not right. So this got to work for both parties then. Because if y'all going to say that against us and we can't use that, we were the ones that was in slavery. Y'all wasn't in slavery. Right. So what are y'all reaping the benefits like y'all the victim? Y'all wasn't the victim. Y'all not the victim.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? That's a call to victim. We should have been doing that. What's up, my brother?
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? We should have been, if anything, us as African Americans, we should have been passing that law against them.
Right.
If anything,
Right.
if we're going to look at it like that, then how y'all passing in? We the victims. We the ones that suffered. So, of course, for all these years, and we still suffering, because all y'all did was take us from the fields and put us in steel and concrete. You understand? So people are still getting enslaved. Brothers are still copping out for charges they didn't do, that they innocent on, but pleading guilty because you got them by their balls. So it's still slavery going on now. What are y'all talking about? So if a person is frustrated and he say, oh, and he feels some type of way, then that should be granted to us. Because we suffer. We never got our reparations. Reparations, we never got nothing for slavery but blood, sweat, and tears. So at the end of the day, how would, what in my mind, what would be the motive for them to do that? It's just about controlling more power to incarcerate us, because now they understand that a lot of truth is coming out. A lot of our young stars, the golden childs, they starting to realize who they are. They starting to understand their DNA. They starting to understand where they come from. So and when you learn knowledge, you get frustrated. You go through phases. I know I did. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes a person might be frustrated, but not, like I said, not all white people are racist, and not all black people is your brother and sister. So at the same time, it's really not about color. Excuse me. It's really not about color. It's more about the intentions and the makeup of these people. Because like
Absolutely,
Khalil Muhammad,
Absolutely.
like Khalil Muhammad said, y'all can never be my brother, physically. Y'all can never be that. But through faith, you could be my brother. Yeah, through faith. Anything else without faith, we can't trust y'all, because we all know y'all have a little bit of that gene in y'all. Even the nice ones. Y'all have that gene is coded in y'all DNA. It's like a bird. It's coded in their DNA to fly. So that evil gene is in them. You understand? It's in them regardless. It's up to the person to suppress it. You understand what I'm saying? Like that. Like they say, the kids is pure. The babies ain't born with racism.
Yes, like
if you see a black kid,
right.
Exactly.
Nurture, right.
Remember, I don't know if y'all remember the video. They had the white kid, the African kid. He was running to the white boy. When they seen each other, the white kid, they would start running and they hugged each other. That's the natural love of, exactly. It ain't no racism. But us, the parents, the people, raise the kids and program that shit in them.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yep. All right, bro.
Exactly.
Peace to that.
Peace, y'all.
No, don't go nowhere, bro. We moving into the next thing. I don't go nowhere. We just gotta move into the next topic. Our time is running.
All right.
And I want to get us in. Okay. All right. So the next news story, we're gonna do some entertainment news. I want to acknowledge this. Regina King's son. He's an artist. His name is Ian Alexander Jr. He committed suicide, and I just want to send our condolences to the family, to Regina King. She's a wonderful actress. We all know her and love her and see her in all of the movies and all of that. And I just want to send our condolences out to her family. And if you or anyone you know is suffering from bad mental thoughts of suicide or has suicidal thoughts, please contact the suicide hotline. It's 1-800 or 800 273 8255. So we just want to, send our love to her. And that's all we're going to say on
Condolences.
that. Yeah, that's all we're going to say on that. We're going to move into a little bit of some hip hop news. Um, so Jay Z has called a ban has called to ban lawmakers from using rap lyrics as criminal evidence. So I mean, I love this. I'm glad he's doing it. I mean, not that it's a counter to what the hell Ron DeSantis is doing in Florida, but I mean, hey, it's a start. I mean, black people got to
Right.
start somewhere. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if that's where we start, hip hop is our culture. So if that's a start, that's a start, and I'm happy for any start we can make. So I'm glad he's doing it. Hopefully, he can get that to go through, and that'll be great. In other hip hop news, Prodigy, it's been 5 years since the release of his last album, The Book of Revelations, and that was the same year where he passed. So it's 5 year anniversary. They announced that the second album, because he announced that was going to be a trilogy project. And I love that album. I mean, it's like one of my favorite albums ever. Um, so the second album is coming out this year. They said they're going to release it this year. It's called The Book of
Nice.
Heroin. Yep. So that's going to be released this year on FMS Records. So salute to P. Rest in peace, P. We miss you. We love you. And I cannot wait to hear this album as a follow up to the Book of Revelations, because it's going to be bananas. Like, I'm going to love it. So let's move on into one more thing here with hip hop. So I want to announce the album of the month. I'm giving it to Don Pacino, my bro from Killer Army, Wu Tang Killer B. Um, he released his album on January 17th. It's titled Icon, and it is fire. So you guys can go check that out at Bandcamp. Just go to Bandcamp and type his name in, and you'll see all his albums. You can get all his albums, but this most recent project has been released, and it's fire. So please go check my bro out and do that. So
Excuse me.
let me get in. Bless you, sis.
Thank you.
Yep. So let's get into our Black History acknowledgement. Right now, we're acknowledging one of the last living Tuskegee Airmen. He has died at the age of 102. Uh,
Oh,
yeah, like how fabulous of a life, though. I mean,
right.
102. I mean, who could want anything different? You know, I
Man,
mean, like that's
ever.
amazing. Yeah, it's amazing, and
Yeah.
I'm sure he lived a full life. So I'm gonna read a little bit of an excerpt, just about some of his accomplishments, and about his life. So his name was Brigade General Charles McGee. He was born on December 7th in 1919 in Cleveland, Ohio. In 1942, at the age of 23, is when he went into the service, and became a part of the pioneering all-black group of fighter aviators in World War II, known as the Tuskegee Airmen. And after the Tuskegee Airmen were successful, that's when the military slowly began to actually integrate. After into the 1940s, that's when they started to integrate, because of how well that went for them. Obviously, we know what they did to the Tuskegee Airmen also. But yeah, so he completed 409 air combat missions and conquered racism and segregation during his tenure in the military. And I just wanted to give a shout out to him. He's another one of our ancestors and our pioneers who have like paved the way for everything for us. And it's so hard to be that first one of us to break through something. So shout out to him that he's highlighted on our Black History lesson. Anything you guys have to say about him, or anything that we just talked about in those news stories, and then we're going to move into our last tidbit for the evening.
I just think that's just further evidence as to why the truth of American history We don't even have to call it critical race theory because I think that's a thing. The truth of American history should be told because many of them men came back and then were still called nigger, spat at, disrespected after all they've done. But for us, some of the stuff, some of those wars wouldn't have been won, right? But for us, and then they came back and mistreated us. So it's just, it baffles me to say the least. And the Prodigy album, I'm excited to hear that they're releasing that after his death, the second one to continue on with this trilogy. That's what's up. Shout out to his camp and his family for that. I'm excited to hear that. And Bandcamp, thank you for putting me on to that. I was like over here, Bandcamp, what is this?
Yeah, so sis, any artists that you like, I mean if they're on Bandcamp, most of them are, you can go to Bandcamp and get buy their albums. So yeah, please go visit and
Yeah, Bandcamp is what's
yeah.
up.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, indeed. So let me get into this one last thing that we like to do on the show. And then we're going to end the show. And again, I want to thank Livestar for making the panel. I know you had to work, bro, so I appreciate you checking in like you promised that you would.
Shout out to you. Salute.
Yeah, yeah, big up to you for that. While I'm pulling this together, give me 1 second. Here we go. Mm-mm. Wrong thing.
I'm a football girl. I'm still partially watching the Bills in Kansas City.
Who's winning, sis?
I think the Bills were part of my TV's cut off, so I could only see Kansas City score. Last I saw, they had seven. It's on a commercial right now, though.
Okay. All right. So hold on.
I'm
I'm
low key
almost.
going for the for Kansas City. That was my granddaddy's team.
Yeah, and Kansas City is Andy Reid. So he has a Philly connection. So I'm rooting for Kansas City. I want them to
That's what's
win.
up.
Yeah, and
That's
Patrick
what's up.
Mahomes. I like the young bull.
Yeah, yeah, he's pretty decent with that arm.
Yeah. All right. So the last thing that we do around here on BTV is we do a Black Love Excellence. I always like to highlight a black couple, just to remind everyone that black love still exists and it's still out there, and we can still achieve it. No matter what situation you're in, or what you may think you're in, or what type of drought you may be in, or think you are in, there's someone out there for everyone. And I love to highlight
Okay.
black couples to show that we still exist and we're still prominent and powerful. And we can.
70% of children today are being raised in a two-parent home. I just saw that, and that just made my heart just flutter.
That's great. I love it. I love it. So
Hmm.
our Black Love Excellence is Papoose and Remy. They're obviously a hip hop powerhouse. I love these two. I love their love. I love their
They're my
baby.
favorite.
She's so cute. Yeah, they're the
Their little
best.
girl reminisce, little reminisce.
Yeah,
She's so
they're the.
smart.
Yeah, I mean, look at her parents. I mean, she's embedded to have smartness in her. So.
Hmm.
So yeah, I wanted to make sure we saluted them and gave them a shout out, um, and that's that. So I want to just thank you guys for being here. Thank the panel. Live Star, I know you were late, but thank you so much for joining us. The show is coming to an end. We want to try to keep the shows to the correct time frame. But not to worry, Black History Month is coming, guys, and we have so much in store for Black History Month. So next week we'll probably do like a small business Sunday for next Sunday. I'll probably come on and do a small show for that. And then starting in Black History Month, we're gonna have plenty of goodies for you guys set up all month. I still have some things in the works, but we have a lot in store. So make sure you tune in. Make sure you follow us on YouTube and like our stuff and go watch our videos on YouTube. Get our algorithm up. That's BTV Productions with a Z. Go like us on our official Facebook page, BTV, a platform for the truth. Follow us on IG and Twitter at TellerBTV. Karama and Livestar, do you want to give any handles to where you want people to follow you or where they can see you guys? Because trust me, I get questions about the panel all the time. So give your handles so people can follow you guys.
My handle on Facebook is K Tao Williams, I believe.
I believe that's
I
your
believe
Facebook.
that's it. And then
Yes.
on Instagram, K Tao Karamaisms, actually. See, I almost gave you the hacked page. I'm Karamaisms. I'm a spoken word artist for the most part. I got some stuff in the works. And I believe our shows got canceled because we had some because of this COVID stuff. We was gonna do an in-person show, but I think that's canceled. It was next Sunday. But I'm around. I'm a clown too. I clown on my Facebook. I'm a firm believer in laughing to keep from crying because the other extreme of me is just as extreme of me.
Facts. All good. You know, you gotta have balance. So of course you gotta have that balance. So I love your IG. I cracks me up, and I'm laughing with you, sis. You know that. So, Live Star, why don't you go ahead and give your handles, or and if there's anything you're working on or whatever you want to go ahead and talk about.
You can follow me on Instagram at Welcome to the Matrix underscore live star. And previously, at the current time, I'm just working on myself, getting back where getting back to myself. But um, I'm about to start doing my music again, get in the studio,
Great. I
and
cannot wait for that. I can't wait for that. I'm
yeah,
happy to
I'm gonna
hear
give it
that.
a shot again.
Yes,
And
indeed.
also, I'm writing a book though. I'm really putting together a book. So I've been trying to do a book. I'm writing periodically about that. So I say about summertime I should be off the foot, but you can definitely follow me on IG. My Facebook is Live Star with a space between it with two R's. And just stay tuned. That's it. That's all I got to say to the people. Try to eat good, stay focused, and don't get caught up in all these distractions. And give thanks every day you wake up. That's
Great.
my word to the people.
Word.
Ashe.
I say so great. Thank you guys. Thank you, panel, Kramaisms, Live Star. Peace to everybody out there. Great show. Thank you so much. Follow our handles. Hit us up, and we will see you in Black History Month. Peace.